Greetings, fellow adventurers, and welcome back to Scrapnik Island. I'm Duuz-Diz-Din, your fellow explorer of this isle of misfit badniks. Previously, Sonic and Tails found themselves downed in a storm, ending up on Scrapnik Island, an island run by SEGA, an old E-series robot who leads some old badniks in the ruins of one of the death eggs of days long past, alongside Mecha Sonic. For the most part, the Scrapniks are actually fairly friendly, as SEGA leads them in being kind and compassionate creatures. But as SEGA, Mecha Sonic, and Sonic go investigating for parts to help get the tornado back up off the ground, they're ambushed by Mecha Knuckles, whose programming to protect the death egg overrides everything else, and he goes on a vicious attack after Sonic. It's only thanks to Mecha Sonic that Sonic's able to make it out okay, but unfortunately the battle took its toll, as Mecha Sonic's old programming corrupts his newer one, causing him to see Sonic as an enemy, with Mecha Sonic once again an adversary, and Sonic in a bad way because of a busted leg, who will end up scrapped at the end of the day. Join me as I find out, won't you? Love this cover. It took a few viewings of this to make me realize that what's in the background behind Tails, SEGA, and the Egg Robos is actually Mecha Sonic's mono eye. That is so creepy. Alright, we have story by the incredible Daniel Barnes. Be sure to follow him on Twitter. Art by the indomitable Jack Lawrence. Colors by the skillful Natalie Fordrain, and letters by the amazing Sean Lee. Editors Riley Farmer and David Marriott. Okay, we have Sonic strapped down to a table with some kind of cap made from a badnik head placed on his head. As Mecha Sonic works a console, Sonic says, "You know this whole giving my enemies the benefit of the doubt only for my trust to be betrayed thing is getting kind of old, not gonna lie." It's calling out a lot of things that have come up recently. Good stuff. You had a second chance at life and a whole island of friends. You even took up gardening. I thought you changed, man. What gives? Mecha Sonic then pulls up a video feed of Tails and the Egg Robo trio fixing up the tornado. Mecha Sonic zooms in on the Miles electronic console. Sonic says, "And what's with this dumb thing on my head? You gonna suck out my brains or something?" Mecha Sonic looks at Sonic and it gives the vibe of, yes, exactly. And as Mecha Sonic looms over Sonic, Sonic says, "Wait, are you though?" Like, you're not really gonna do that, are you? We see a Scrapnik Coconuts observing all of this, and he goes rushing off, probably to get SEGA. Okay, this is a memory. We see Mecha Sonic being brought online by SEGA, probably after his defeat after the events of Sonic 3, I think. SEGA says, "Greetings, Mecha Sonic. Welcome to Scrapnik Island. My name is E117 SEGA. I am glad you are finally functional again." Mecha Sonic looks at his damage and the changes made to his body, and SEGA says, "You were in very bad condition when you were washed ashore, but I was able to rebuild you. More or less." And we see a montage of SEGA and Mecha Sonic building up Scrapnik Island. I think working on the egg carrier they have in the base, the day they found that flower that Mecha Sonic was, watering, and how Mecha Sonic seemed to love being around the other Scrapniks. You have SEGA's narration saying, "You are a tool for destruction and conquest no longer. That was the old you. Here on this island, you will discover the new you. Here on this island, you are safe. Here on this island, you are free. Here on this island, you are home." You have SEGA coming back online after he was injured by Mecha Knuckles last time, right? SEGA gets to his feet saying, Systems rebooting. Sonic? Mecha? Are you alright?" He's then shocked to see the downed Mecha Knuckles, and as he examines Mecha Knuckles, he says, "Oh no." He sees the massive amount of damage done to the bot. He picks up Mecha Knuckles and cradles him in his arms, saying, "Mecha, what have you done?" Oh, so the bot actually went to Tails instead, and uses a connection cable coming out of his mouth. Look, the Scrapniks are both cute and really creepy all at the same time. He uses the cable to connect into the Miles electronic to show Tails directly what he saw through his visual feed. Seeing this, the Egg Robos all turn to themselves as Tails goes running off to a scrap heap and starts getting to work on, a blaster. And he even outfits the other Egg Robos with it. He's even got a little scouter kind of thing going on. That's kind of cool. As Tails is teamed up with the Robos, he tells them, "Let's go save Sonic." Yeah, and Tails. Between this and the Tails annual, man, Tails gets strapped a lot. That blaster almost looks like the Super Scope from Nintendo. We cut to Tails and the Egg Robos infiltrating the Death Egg, freaking commando style with the scopes and the lights shining from their weapons. So cool. Tails' console starts to beep, showing movement up ahead, he says, as he looks at it. He even tells the other Egg Robos, "Stay frosty, you guys." And as they hide around a nearby corridor wall, something starts to approach with a clank, 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 and as it approaches, Tails starts sweating profusely, ready to battle whatever comes around the corner. And as he goes around, it turns out it's Sigma, as Tails says, "Hold it right there." Sigma, who is carrying Mecha Knuckles, says, "Oh my." And after a mild standoff for a second, it's a great shot too of Tails and the Egg Robos just holding Sigma at gunpoint. It's pretty awesome. Sigma then breaks the tension, saying, "Young Master Tails, a sight for sore optics to be sure." Tails and the Egg Robos put away their guns, saying, "Oh, hey Sigma, it's just you. Phew, we're looking for Mecha Sonic. He's holding Sonic captive for some reason. Mind telling me what's going on?" Sigma says, "It is as I feared. Mecha's systems are very robust. My knowledge of his software's nuances is limited. When I rebuilt him, I attempted to rewrite Dr. Eggman's original programming to the best of my abilities, but it would seem my efforts were insufficient. His old protocols and subroutines must have reawakened somehow. They are warping his cerebral processor. This is my error, not Mecha's. He's not thinking clearly, Tails." Tails looks at Sigma with a very sympathetic eye. Always the caring one. But suddenly, Tails' Maz electronic suddenly comes online, with a voice coming over saying, "On the contrary, Sigma, my mind has never been clearer." Oh snap. How? And suddenly, the Maz electronic starts to beep rapidly as if something is approaching them. And suddenly, Mecha Sonic appears saying, "Behind you." Tails and the Egg Robos just unload at Mecha Sonic as he ducks out of the way. I love this scene of them just going, "Bam, bam, 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 bam." Oh man, this is great. Man, would I tell you, Jack Lawrence's art sells it. Natalie Fordrain's colors sell this so hard, man. I love this. It's so animated for a still motion comic. You even see Mecha Sonic in his ball form just spin dashing out of the way, pinging off the walls to get out of the line of fire. That is so cool. That's such a good shot. Like the way that it's even laid out, you can almost just see the motion of things happening with us zooming out as Mecha Sonic just pings out of the way. That is such a cool shot. And I love this scene of their weapons smoking after they finish firing. Suddenly Mecha Sonic's voice comes over the Miles electronics saying, "You don't know what it's like to be discarded, forgotten. Suddenly, Tails and the Egg Robos hear Sigma say, "Egad!" And suddenly he's gone, leaving behind only Mechasonic's hat. Oh snap. Tails calls out to Sigma in the darkness as he and the Egg Robos look one way, as Mechasonic approaches from the shadows from behind, only his eye glowing in the darkness as he grabs the Egg Robo with the hat and pulls him into the shadows as the Egg Robo fires wildly in fear. Tails tells the others, "He's too fast, retreat," as they go running off, putting down suppressing fire as they run away. Oh man, I thought we were done with the tension from the first issue, but this sells it, man. Oh no. As Tails and the two remaining Egg Robos go racing off, Tails tells them, "This is bad. I underestimated his speed. I assumed both his rust and mismatched parts had slowed him down, but he's still just as fast as Sonic. If we can hunker down in a small room somewhere and limit his movement, we might just stand a chance." Guys? Tails screeches to a halt, noticing that the other two Egg Robos have also disappeared into the shadows. And from those shadows comes Mechasonic with his one mono red eye glowing in the darkness. Ooh, yes. I'm actually surprised that SEGA allowed Mechasonic to talk, but Ian has said on the Bumblecast that he is surprised that Daniel Barnes was able to do as much as he was able to throughout this story. And the return of Mechasonic alone is fascinating, but the fact that Mecha was allowed to talk? Man, Metal Sonic, he's not allowed to do any of that. Like, Ian has gone on record multiple times. Metal Sonic is not allowed to talk. He's not allowed to display an overt personality. None of that. They were able to get away with that with Neo Metal, but not regular Metal. Mecha has his standoff with Tails saying, "I was once Dr. Eggman's most remarkable creation. We were supposed to conquer the world together. After I was rebuilt, I waited for him. I was so certain he would come find me, and we would try again. But instead he abandoned me, left me here to rust on this forsaken junk pile. A grave error on his part, and now that error shall be corrected." As his eye glows even more brilliantly red with anger. Man, he's essentially kind of become Omega to a certain degree. Tails asks, What does any of this have to do with us? What did you do with Sonic?" Mecha tells him, "I have plans for him. They are of no concern to you. Give me the tablet, and I will spare you," he says with an outstretched hand. Tails, though nervous, says defiantly, "Come and take it." Oh man, Tails! Tails looking like the last action hero. Like, it's such a small panel to, like, really denote his nervousness and the smallness and the fear, but it's like, it also just really highlights his bravery, too. It's like, "I've taken down badder bots than you, buddy." Ooh, he starts firing off as Mechasonic starts to close the distance between them with high speeds. But Tails, that scouter, isn't for show as he manages to use it to get a lock on Mechasonic as he gets in close. But before Tails can get a real shot in, Mecha smacks the blaster out of Tails' hand. But Tails isn't done yet as he gets into a power stand and starts to spin dash. Well, he revs up a spin dash, I should say. Ooh, and he slams into Mecha. But Mecha manages to get a hold of Tails in his spin dash form, and he slams Tails into the ground, with him managing to take the Miles electronic off of Tails, as Tails slowly pulls himself off of the ground, coughing. Mechasonic then looks to Tails and grabs the little fox by the throat, holding him up. He then opens up a garbage chute saying, "Here, now you'll see what it feels like to be thrown away as he stuffs Tails down the garbage chute. And I love this paneling as you see Tails slowly falling into the abyss. You can even tell that Mecha slowly closed the hatch with this little slit of light on Tails. It's just like that. I don't know if that was already said in the scripting for this, if this was something that was apparent from the way Jack Lawrence drew it, or if this was just a creative decision on Natalie Fordrain's part. But man, I'll even give props to Sean Lee, because I don't give enough special props to the letterers, but I love the lettering in this, because with the colors it makes such a beautiful contrast and just highlights those moments, especially when they were firing off their blasters at Mecha Sonic. So good. We then cut to Mecha returning to Sonic, who snarkily says, "Oh hey there, Gruesome, welcome back." Mecha says, "Hello, Sonic." Sonic then spots the Miles electronic, thinking to himself, "Tails' tablet gizmo." He then shouts, "What did you do with Tails? Where is he?" But as Mecha connects the Miles electronic to the console, he simply says, "He's where he belongs. Don't worry, you'll be joining him shortly." Oh, as it's revealed on the console, he plans on, from the looks of things, transferring his mind into Sonic's body. Is that even possible? Oh, electrical impulses and stuff like that. Man, he's gonna pull a Superior Spider-Man. I wonder if he'll actually pull it off. I can't see him pulling it off. Oh man, this has been so good. And next issue is the last issue. And look at that cover. Sonic and Mecha Sonic clashing. So good. But this was hype. This was amazing. This is an incredible team. I need this team. No offense to Ian, no offense to Evan. I need Daniel, Natalie, Jack, Sean, all of them writing a main story. Writing a main storyline story. I need it. I need it. I want to see what you guys can do. Maybe it might not be that great. Maybe the fact that this is a side story really works to their benefit. But this has the kind of intensity, the tension, and just the thrill that kind of kept me really just being driven with the Metal Virus storyline. Like, again, no offense to Evan and Ian, their recent stuff has been great, especially with Surge. Surge has been like a really breakout character, but this has been a great read. Beautiful, thrilling, action-packed, intriguing, just wow. I'm interested how this is gonna end. Will you stick the landing? Because if so, trade paperback. I need that. Get it signed by Daniel, whoever I can, but I need a hardcover version of this. That's what I usually wait for. You'll usually get the digital downloads. I use something else in order to read it because it's easier to read in other places, but I have my automatic payment set. Buy it on Kindle, get that, can read it at my leisure, or if I'm traveling or something like that. But I buy hardcover editions or the soft copy stuff. But I always buy trade. Ever since the Archie reboot, I've stuck to buying trades because they're a little bit easier to come by for the most part. I do love the individual issues, and from time to time I'll go to a comic book store and buy the individual issues if I feel like it. But I mostly stick to the trade paperbacks because it's just easier for the most part. But this, it'll look nicely with my Tangle and Whisper trades and the Metal Virus trades and all that good stuff. And you even got the 50th anniversary thing. Is that out? I don't think it's out yet. Gotta get that too. Yes. IDW, you shall get my money yet again. But this was a fun read. Again, I won't lie, the stuff leading up to issue 50 wasn't quite doing it for me. It was like, I get it, we're setting things up, we're trying to buy some time until we get to 50, but it feels like after we hit 50, like 50 onward, it's just been like, banger after banger after banger. It's just been nailing it every time, and I've been enjoying it. So it's like, if we have to get like some slow stuff in order to get some like really good hard-hitting stuff, and the thing is, miniseries always hit good. For me at least, the miniseries always hit. Love Bad Guys, love Tangle and Whisper, love Imposter Syndrome. I love it all. And I really hope Daniel, and as many of these same people working on this as he can get, does something for the mainline storyline. If only just for like a story arc or two. Hell, I would love to see if maybe we could get a collaborative effort between Ian, Evan, and Daniel. Wonder how that would work out. Maybe we get some like spin-off stories that tell like side stories, and then you get a main storyline, and all the stories kind of interconnect as they go. Kind of like how Archie used to do things from time to time. Sometimes the stories would be connected to the main story, sometimes it'd be something completely different. Honestly, that way of telling stories has always been pretty solid. I would love to just have a consistent secondary book for Sonic, honestly. The miniseries aren't bad, but I love solidly knowing I can get 2 Sonic books a month. And unfortunately, the release schedule for the Sonic books have been... it gets me nervous sometimes because of the way that Archie Sonic went out. But this has been a great read. Tell me your thoughts in the comment section below. What was your favorite part of this story? Was it the art, the coloring, or just the story in general? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, but also remember to like, subscribe, bell, all that good YouTube stuff. And until next time, I've been Duuz-Diz-Din, and I hope to see you in the next video. Till then, bye-bye.